If your truck feels tired, sluggish off the line, rough at idle, and thirsty at the pump, it does not need a new engine. It needs a real tune-up. A weekend of simple work can make it run like the day you bought it. Number 7. The cooling system refresh lays the groundwork for every improvement that follows. An engine relies on precise temperature control to deliver smooth power and reliable fuel economy. When coolant ages, it can turn acidic, lose its protective qualities, and allow corrosion to eat away at the radiator and heater core. A tired thermostat may stick open or closed, leaving the engine running too cold or too hot. Either problem forces the truck's computer to adjust fuel delivery, often leading to sluggish acceleration, rough idle, or a dip in miles per gallon. Flushing out the old coolant and installing a new thermostat restores temperature stability, helping the engine reach its ideal operating range. Owners have reported seeing the temperature gauge hold steady and cabin heat return to normal after this simple weekend job. The right coolant, matched to your truck's manual, protects against freezing and overheating, while a fresh thermostat ensures the engine warms up quickly and stays there. For around $30 to $80 in parts, this quiet foundation supports every other fix in the countdown, making each one more effective. Number 6. The oxygen sensor is the unsung hero of every modern truck engine. Tucked into the exhaust, this small sensor constantly tells the computer how much fuel to deliver, balancing power and efficiency on the fly. When the sensor gets tired, usually after 60 to 100,000 miles, it starts to misread the air-fuel mix. Suddenly, that smooth idle turns rough, fuel economy drops, and a check engine light may flicker on. The truck's computer can't make the right decisions, so the engine runs rich or lean, wasting gas and losing power. OEM sensors are built to last, but even the best start to drift out of spec as they age. On a 1995 F-150, a simple sensor swap bumped city mileage from 12 to 15 and highway from 15 to 18.5 miles per gallon. That's the kind of improvement you can feel at every stoplight and fill-up. For most trucks, a new sensor costs between $30 and $80 and takes less than an hour to install. Always follow your vehicle's manual for the correct part and torque specs to avoid damaging threads. Replacing a worn oxygen sensor is a straightforward fix that pays off every time you drive. Number 5, the PCV valve and vacuum system often hide some of the cheapest fixes for a truck that shakes at idle or hesitates off the line. When the PCV valve sticks open, it acts like a constant vacuum leak, letting unmetered air sneak into the intake and throwing off the air-fuel mix. That's a recipe for rough idling, uneven throttle, and a dip in power you can feel at every stoplight. A cracked or collapsed PCV hose can do the same, letting air bypass the sensors and leaving the engine computer scrambling to adjust. The good news: diagnosing a tired PCV valve is simple. Pull it out and give it a shake. If it rattles, it's likely still working. If it's silent or gummed up, it's time for a new one. A quick suction test or a smoke test can pinpoint even tiny vacuum leaks around the hoses or valve cover. In one Silverado, a $10 PCV valve swap wiped out a months-long hesitation that no amount of sensor cleaning could fix. The job takes less than an hour, requires only basic tools, and can restore smooth idle and crisp throttle response. Always match the new valve and hoses to your truck's manual and double-check connections to avoid introducing new leaks. For the cost of a drive-through lunch, this simple step can bring back the steady idle and power delivery that make an old truck feel young again. Number 4 brings the focus straight to the intake, where a new air filter and a clean throttle body and mass airflow sensor can transform how a truck breathes. Over time, a clogged air filter can choke off as much as 20% of the air your engine needs, robbing it of power before combustion even starts. That means every press of the accelerator feels a little lazier, and you might notice the engine working harder for the same result. Carbon buildup on the throttle body can make airflow uneven, causing the idle to wander or dip, while a dirty mass airflow sensor sends bad data to the computer, leading to rough idle and sluggish response. The fix is straightforward. Pop in a fresh filter, then use the correct MAF and throttle body cleaners, never harsh solvents, to gently clear away grime. Together, these three parts act as the lungs and nose of the engine, measuring and delivering clean, even airflow to every cylinder. The difference after this job is often immediate: a smoother idle, sharper throttle, and a sense that the engine is finally breathing easy again. Always follow your truck's manual for filter type and cleaning instructions to avoid damaging sensitive components. Coming to the top three, cleaning the fuel system tackles the heart of what your engine burns every mile. Over time, carbon and varnish build up inside injectors and along the fuel rail, disrupting the fine spray pattern that's critical for smooth combustion. The result can be a drop in power, uneven running, or even a knocking sound under load, a clear sign that fuel isn't atomizing the way it should. For most high-mileage trucks, the first step is simple: run a quality fuel system cleaner through a nearly empty tank, then fill up with fresh gas. Products like Seafoam or Techron dissolve deposits as they circulate, helping restore the even spray your engine needs. Next, replacing the fuel filter ensures that every drop of gas reaches the injectors free of debris. This isn't just theory. A GM truck owner on the forums reported a 5 to 10% boost in miles per gallon after a full cleaning and filter swap, with smoother idle and better throttle response. For about $30 to $70 in parts, this weekend project can make an old engine feel eager again. Always consult your truck's manual for the correct filter type and fuel line procedures to avoid leaks or fitment issues. With clean fuel delivery, every other tune-up step works better, and the difference is often felt right at the first start. In second place, nothing refreshes an old truck engine quite like a proper oil change with a quality filter. Oil is the lifeblood of every moving part, and as it ages, it picks up grit, carbon, and microscopic metal shavings that grind away at bearings and cam surfaces. High-mileage engines suffer even more. Blow-by gases and extra wear particles overwhelm cheap filters and break down oil faster than most drivers realize. That's why using the manufacturer's recommended viscosity and a reputable filter is more than just a detail. It's essential for protecting tight tolerances and keeping oil passages clear. Mechanics and experienced owners agree. Stretching oil changes past 5,000 miles on an older truck is a gamble, especially if the engine already sounds rough or feels sluggish. Fresh oil restores the smooth, damped sound at idle, improves throttle response, and helps the engine run cooler under load. For most trucks, $30 to $60 covers a full synthetic change with a solid filter, one of the best returns on investment in all of maintenance. Always check your manual for oil type and torque the filter and drain plug to spec to avoid leaks. This simple act often brings back the quiet, easy-running feel of a much younger engine. And finally, in first place, nothing transforms the way a high-mileage truck runs like a fresh set of spark plugs and ignition components. Over time, spark plugs wear down, their gaps widen, and the spark grows weak. That means incomplete combustion in the cylinders, leading to misfires, hard starts, rough idle, and power that just isn't there when you need it. Weak ignition coils or tired plug wires make the problem worse, causing uneven firing across the engine and burning extra fuel just to keep up. The result is a truck that feels lazy off the line, stumbles when you hit the gas, and struggles to hold a steady idle. But the turnaround is dramatic. Installing new, properly gapped plugs, along with coils or wires if needed, brings back strong, even combustion in every cylinder. Owners report immediate improvements: smooth starts, a crisp idle, and throttle response that feels factory fresh. Real-world tests show fuel economy can bounce back by 3 to 8% after this step, sometimes even more if misfires were robbing efficiency. For most V8 trucks, a full set of plugs runs $30 to $80, with coils or wires adding to the total if needed. The job is straightforward, but always follow your truck's manual for torque specs and firing order to avoid stripped threads or crossed wires. This is the classic tune-up with the biggest night and day payoff, the moment when the engine finally sounds and feels like it wants to work again. Across all 7 fixes, one pattern stands out. Real engine revival comes from simple, targeted maintenance, not costly overhauls. Smooth running, better power, and improved fuel economy are within reach for any high-mileage truck owner willing to get hands-on. Which fix made the biggest difference for you? Subscribe for more practical truck tips.